Hey everyone, I'm Madals and today we're going to look at another build for Zane the Operative in Borderlands 3. This build is entirely based around dealing cryo damage, being tanky, and being able to do a lot of damage from afar. And well, it's not going to be my first build I play, but it's a good runner-up, so let's take a look.
And I can be a little defensive.
We're starting off in the undercover tree, and that means, of course, grabbing our first action skill, which is Barrier. So this drops a deployable barrier that blocks damage, and we can shoot through it. All good. And if we shoot through it, more damage. Also good. Nice and simple. First up is this middle talent, and this is Hearty Stock, and it basically increases your maximum shield capacity. Grab 3 points in that. It's going to make you tankier, 30% max shield, and that's important later on. The second piece is Adrenaline. We're just going to nab 2 points in this to start with, and really it's a nice, simple cooldown reduction on your action skill, Barrier. And it's bigger based on the amount of shield you have. The more percentful it is, the greater the bonus. So that doesn't actually directly benefit from Hearty Stock, but the higher your shields are, the better. Jumping into the second row of talents here, we're going to get the core of this build, which is Brain Freeze. Every time you get a critical hit on an enemy, there's a chance they'll be slowed, it stacks, and then they're frozen. Get all 5 points, and that slow chance is 20%. Nice and simple, get all 5 points. We then jump up into a Confident Competence. This is a cool one. So while your shields are active, you get increased gun damage and accuracy. And this bonus is based on the amount of shields he has. The more percent full, the greater the bonus, up to a total of 20% gun damage and accuracy. Very, very nice. To jump us up into the next row, we're going to add 1 more point up here into Adrenaline, which reduces your action skill cooldown further. And we're also just going to top up our points in Stiff Upper Lip. Stiff Upper Lip, basically, at 3 out of 3, gives you damage resistance to any type of damage you've taken, cryo, shock, fire, etc. So just a nice little bit of tanky bonus, and that unlocks the next row of talents for us. Jumping into the fourth row of talents in Undercover, we're going to pick up a 1-pointer in the form of Futility Belt. This is a massive boost to our survivability and essentially gives you resistance to non-elemental damage at 15%. Now, what's really good with this, though, is the kill skill part of it, which is after killing an enemy, all elemental damage you take is converted to non-elemental damage, basically giving you a flat 15% damage reduction. Get that point first. We're then going to grab 4 points in Best Serve Cold. So this is a kill skill. And whenever Zane kills an enemy, they create a Cryo Nova, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. And that's just going to help you with some AoE. It's got a decent bit of damage and a pretty low cooldown. So pick up 4 points in that. I didn't actually get a single point at this point in the really expensive jacket, which reduces the duration of elemental status effects. And that's really because of the fact that you've got the Futility Belt, kill skill effect, and your barrier. I don't really think it's going to be needed, but we'll wait and see when we start playing. Now, rounding off the undercover tree, first up, we are going to grab Calm, Cool, Collected. This is a 1-pointer, and anytime Zane freezes an enemy, his shield begins instantly recharging. If his shield's already full, his health starts recharging. And guess what? If his health is full and his shields are full, his action skill cooldown and durations are immediately reset. That is a massive, massive boost to uptime on your active abilities, so we'll grab that. Next, we're going to grab 1 point in Refreshment. Now, this is really making sure we've always got the health element of this Calm, Cool, Collected available by giving us 8% of life steal every time we damage a frozen enemy. So just a little bit more sustain, and also helps us trigger the action skill cooldown and duration of Calm, Cool, Collected. Finally, we're going to stick 3 points in Nerves of Steel. This is going to help you shoot things further away from your barrier while you're chilling in there. Basically, that gives you increasing accuracy and handling. The longer you have full shield, the greater the bonus becomes. Now, this stacks up to 15 times. Now, you can do the quick maths there, but that is a lot of accuracy and a lot of handling if you're not taking any damage. So, with your barrier as an active ability, massive boost. Finally, we get the Capstone, and this basically means that the active barrier skill gains the effect of your currently equipped shield mod. It also additionally means the shield effects are applied to all allies near the barrier. And so that's just a huge buff to your team, to you, and to your barrier. Which means you're going to be tankier, which means, guess what? You're going to have your shields up, which means Calm, Cool, Collected is going to be up even more. For the augments in your barrier tree in Undercover, I'm first going to pick up Retaliation, which is anytime the barrier takes damage, anyone nearby gets bonus gun damage. That's pretty useful because we're going to be in that barrier and more gun damage is going to really help us. The other one we're going to grab is All-Rounder, which basically makes your barrier a dome. So you're protected from all angles. You can just chill in there and snipe things off with your massive accuracy and handling boost you've got from Nerves of Steel. I chose not to pick up Charged Relay because don't really want to be moving around in there too much. I don't think it's going to be too useful. And also the nanometers of some shite, nanites or some shite. That again, I don't think we're going to need the health regeneration because of the fact that we've got refreshment down here. Also, didn't want to pick up Deterrence Field because that just does shock damage and staggers any enemies that touch your barrier. But to be honest, we're going to kill everything before it gets to your barrier, so no need there. Now we've got the capstone of Undercover, we're going to jump on over to the Hitman tree, and this is where Synergy really starts coming in. We're going to grab our second active ability, of course, Sentinel, our fun little drone buddy who's going to go and shoot people with a machine gun. And then we're going to start seeing this build really start amplifying itself. So we're going to get Cold Bore. Now, this increases your weapon swap speed. Now, while that might seem pretty mediocre, the real bonus for this build is, of course, the bonus cryo damage. And that's what this build is focused on. 30% bonus cryo damage. Thank you very much. Finishing up our points in Hitman, we are going to grab the 1 point in drone delivery, which makes Sentinel occasionally drop a free grenade, which more grenades are always good. We are also going to grab 4 points in Cool Hand, which increases your reload speed after killing. So again, we're going to be doing lots of that. Reloading, obviously not fun. So quicker reloads, more shooting, more dead bandits. Always fun. The augment we can pick up here is also sweet for this build because it converts Sentinel's primary weapons to cryo damage. And if you refer back earlier, dealing damage to frozen things, good. Finally, we're going to grab the Death Follows Close point here in Hitman. This gives all of Zane's kill skills a increased effect and duration. We have got a few kill skills scattered about. It's not a super duper point. The duration is really nice, but yeah, it's not a kill skill focused build like my other one, but actually it's 1 point and it's pretty decent, so definitely going to grab it. Finally, you can get one other augment for your Sentinel. We can either go for static field, which deals basically shock damage to any enemies. It does replenish your shield. To be honest, I think in Undercover we've got more than enough in our shields to not need that. What I grab is Bad Dose, the radiation laser, because of the debuff that gives to enemies. And that finishes off the Hitman tree. To finish off this build, we're going to put a few points in Double Agent. First up, we are going to skip the third action skill because we can't use it at the same time, and instead just put 1 point into Borrowed Time. I'm not sure if we'll actually be needing this that much, obviously with the chance to reset all of the cooldowns of our action skill from the Undercover tree. Where is it? Down here in Calm, Cool, and Collected. So because of that, we may not need it, might take it out. We're going to then stick 4 points down here in Synchronicity, more gun damage whenever one of your action skills is available. And since they're going to be up a lot, that's a lot of gun damage. We'll probably stick that up to 5 as well, because by the time we put our last point in, that's a good point to put it at. Then we're going to stick 4 points into this kill skill, Donnybrook, which whenever you deal damage, you get increased gun damage and health regeneration for a few seconds. Now, this isn't super good just because of the fact that we don't have a digiclone, but I do think it's going to be better than the grenade mod one, because obviously we're not going to be using the digiclone at all, and we may want to use the duct tape mod to fire a grenade from the first shot fired from each shot in the magazine, but again, I'm not sure that's going to be the most useful. So that finishes off this cryo shield base build for Zane. It is a lot tankier and basically going to spend all of your time in the barrier. Sentinel is going to be doing some work for you. It's cryo damage focused, and I've got to say, I think it's going to be super survivable. It's got great synergy, and as long as your team's got a bit more damage to back you up, it should be great. So that is the build. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, if you like this content, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, the little bell, so you get notified. And you can also check out me and sometimes my wife on my stream at twitch.tv/Madals, where we'll be playing loads of Borderlands 3 over the coming weeks and months.